Last year sucked, but we got a ton of cash and player development funds, so let's go sign some superstars. Marsha, 15 milli on Marsha Brown. Babe Ruth joins his third team, far more tax-friendly Texas. Then Big Papi goes to Ruth's old team, the defending champion Cruisers. Okay, Marsha's our only big signing, but our pitching staff's elite and we got some power. Let's play ball! Game 1 of 162. Opening day at American Division rival Texas. Jack Cracker leads off the fourth. Breaks the scoreless tie on the first pitch from Hurley Bender, right into the jungle. Marsha Brown comes on with 2 on, 2 out in the fifth. Talk about a first impression. Goes yard off Bishop Fuller. 1 on, nobody out in the eighth for Cracker. The 2-run blast to straightaway center gets Texas the lead. Cracker on pace for 324 home runs. Wranglers put up 4 runs in the eighth to get the 6-3 win. Cracker, Brown, and Bender the stars of the game. Texas goes on to get the 3-game sweep, with Game 3 going 19 innings. We split a 4-game series at Colorado and are 2-5 heading into our home opener against the New York Money. A rematch of Super Mega Series 1, although our team looks a lot different. Vegas up 4-2 in the third when Norm Phenomeno steps in. His 3-run blast off Cecil Sawyer gets New York the lead. Marsha Brown's 2-out single in the eighth ties it up, her 4th hit of the game. Bases loaded, 1 out for Ian Fielder in the 10th. The base hit to left off Rogan Balls secures Vegas the walk-off win. Seriously, the pitcher was Rogan Balls. 3 stars were the 3 highlights. New York takes the final 2 games of the series. Game number 34, and we've got a 5-game win streak as part of a wild road trip where we go from Cuba to Korea to Carolina and then Japan. We're 1 game below 500 as we head into Carolina. Night game at Peril Point. 1 on, 2 out in the second for Sammy Shigatani. Her chip shot off Bob Feller brings Buster Biggs home and gets Carolina on the board first. Leading off the 6th is Amos Otis. Finally, we get to Elmo Slayer with this missile out to straightaway center. MBLE home run leader Jose Carloco leads off the 8th. First pitch swing off Matt Gunn sends it out of here. His 10th home run of the year. That's all Carolina needed. Slayer, Otis, and Feller the stars of the game. The Coasters take Game 2, but were able to salvage one in Game 3. 6 games later, and we've lost 5 of them. Time to make some moves. And once again, I get older, signing 3 new players with an average age of 38. So far, so good as we blow the wheels off the Wheelers in Game 1. For Game 2, we got our new pitcher and former White Sox Mark Buehrle making his first career MBLE start. At one of the more unique design ballparks, Whacker's Wheel. No idea how they came up with this one. What is that, a hotel beyond the outfield with a Jumbotron on it? Already 1-0 Vegas in the second. Runners at the corners, 2 outs for Ralph Blue. The 0-2 curveball from Charlemagne Charleston is sent right towards the hotel. You're my boy, Blue. 5 home runs on the season. Bottom of the second, bases loaded, 2 outs for Jim Edmonds. And Mark Buehrle sends him down swinging. 1 on, 2 outs in the fourth for Kyle Seager. The 1-1 off-speed pitch from Archie Alonso is skied just inside the right field foul pole. Gone. All Vegas in this one, 10-2. Incredible debuts for the battery of Mark Buehrle and Sting McGee. Then we get shut out in Game 3. But at the halfway point, we're 3 games above 500 and only 2.5 back of first place. Our new offensive additions of Stade and McGee batting .277 with 12 home runs and 34 RBIs. And Mark Buehrle holding it down with a 5-2 record and a 4.48 ERA. Hurley Bender, another sensational year so far for us. Marsha Brown, 10th highest batting average. Filet Jones, 10th in striking out. Game 122, we're getting back to 500 and 8.5 back of first. Hammer Longballo, let go by the Seattle Sounds. Game 142, we're 2 games above 500, but still 9.5 back of first. Time to sell the farm, as you do in this game. I dumped 7 players, all 3 that I signed 100 games ago, as well as our 3 biggest stars, Matt Gunn, Marsha Brown, and Hurley Bender. The Boston Charm do the opposite, dropping $40 million on Jovita Pulo, Hanley Dexterez, and Hammer Longballo. All this as they've wrapped up the Northeast Division with 4 games to play. Meanwhile, the Colorado Aviators are trying to avoid getting swept by the 100-loss Windy City Wheelers. An Aviator loss would clinch the division for the Texas Wranglers. It's already 2-0 Wheelers in the first when former Outlaw Cheyenne Hill steps in. The 1-2 fastball from Slip Sauter is sent into the right center gap, The one-out double gives Windy City a 3-0 lead. 4-0 Wheelers in the fourth when Evan Chukov steps in. The 2-0 serving from Slip Sauter is jammed out just inside the foul pole. It's 7-1 in the sixth for Gary Gaetti. Takes Luis Tiant out of here. 10-1 Wheelers. Just beat the brakes off them as Colorado's season ends in the Windy City. And with that, Texas signs Jock Sports, who won it all last year with Babe Ruth and the Cruisers. The final standings, and I'm annoyed with my decision to go with divisions. Boston with the fourth best record in the Super Conference, yet qualifies for the playoffs. Slip Sauter immediately cut by the Aviators after getting blown up by Windy City. Big Poppy David Ortiz leads the league in home runs, but still no playoffs for him. Should have never left Boston, just like in real life, but there's no loyalty in Super Mega Baseball 4. Both his former team and the Soul Tigers jumped to 3-0 series leads. Boston looking for the sweep of the Coasters. Day baseball at Founders Field. Can Hammer Longballo do for the charm what David Ortiz couldn't? Gets a freak bounce off the mound of Sergio Slider to give Boston an early 1-0 lead. One on, nobody out in the sixth for Ellis Burks. The 2-2 serving from Braun Thunderchump is sent way out of here. Boston's white helmets. Should they stay or should they go? Let me know. A charm blow out the entire series. Combine score of the 4 games, 23-5. Can the Soul Tigers with our old buddy Cecil Sawyer finish off a sweep of the Texas Wranglers? Night game at the Corral. Check out those city lights. Whew. 1-0 Soul in the fourth when Ryan Braun steps in. His solo shot towards the deepest part of the park off Sawyer ties the game. 2-1 Texas in the fifth when Chimo Gaspar steps in. Sends a laser off of Sawyer just over the fence in left field. Spanky Wagner having a night comes up with 1 out, nobody on in the sixth. Takes Jerry Ronner out of here. This moonshot gets him a triple away from the cycle. Bottom of the eighth, 1 out, bases loaded for Chimo Gaspar. First pitch swinging off Lola Knops, straightaway center, gone. 457 feet, Gaspar's second bomb of the game blows this thing wide open. Babe Ruth having a night comes up next. He's swinging at the first pitch from Knops. Into the bullpen, gone. Back-to-back jacks for the Wranglers as they live to see another day. Gaspar, Wagner, and Ruth the stars of the game. It's Vida Blue versus Babe Ruth for Game 5. Once again under the lights at the Corral. 1-0 Soul leading off the fifth for Texas, Jovan Bambino. First pitch swing off Vida Blue, front row center, gone. Still tied at 1 in the 10th. As Jock Sports comes up with 1 on and nobody out. This fan seems to be confused. Sports takes the 2-0 serving from our old buddy Horace Heimlich way out of here. Walk-off win for the Wranglers. Jock Sports, the hero of the night. So the series shifts back to Soul. Rick Rochelle against tense Beavis Ortiz. Day baseball at the Tiger Den. Leading off the second for Texas is Will Clark. And he wins this battle of former San Francisco Giants with the solo shot to the second deck. Leading off the second for Soul, Joe Mauer takes Ortiz out of here just over the wall in center field. Bases loaded, 1 out in the third for Mauer. The base hit off the wall on the left brings in 2. Then new pitcher Bill Campbell strikes out our old buddy Slapper Glute, which brings up Robin Yount. Second pitch of the bat sends the curveball out of here. Look out, 6-1 Tigers. 2 on, nobody out in the fourth for Boog Powell. Gets Texas right back in it. The shot to left makes it 6-4. 7-5 Soul in the sixth when Kevin Youkilis comes up for his third at-bat, facing new pitcher Lola Knops. Her second pitch sends it out of here. The 3-run blast puts Texas back on top. Youkilis' third home run of the series. Next up, Jock Sports. And he goes yard on Knops. Back-to-back jacks puts Texas up by 2. 11-7 now as Babe Ruth leads off the eighth, hits a monster shot off former Outlaw closer Ricky McFarland. Leading off the ninth for Texas, regular season strikeout leader Emilio Idoia. He takes McFarland out of here. Wranglers up by 6. 2 batters later, they bring in Tom Glavine. And on 1 pitch, Jock Sports has his second home run of the game. His third home run in 2 games. They're not done. Babe Ruth goes yard again, his second of the game. And 5th of the series for big number 5. Wranglers win 17-7. 8 home runs by Texas hitters, half of those from Ruth and Sports. forces the first ever Game 7 in MBLE history. Texas looking to pull off the rare reverse sweep. Soul up 1-0 in the second when Crazy Eyes Stacy Staples comes up and she takes Cecil Sawyer to the second deck. God damn. Texas up 3-1 and leading off the 8th for them is Ryan Braun. And takes Lola Knox out of here cause, of course, who doesn't? Braun's third of the series. Still in the 8th. Ray's Rufo comes on with runners on second and third and 2 outs. The Tigers counter with Vita Blue, who sends Rufo down swinging. Joe Mauer comes up in the bottom of the 8th with 1 on and 2 outs. On 1 pitch takes Shirley Indiere out of here. Leading off the bottom of the 9th for Soul is Snag Roper. The solo shot off Brad Ziegler ties this baby up at 4. 5-4 Texas in the 12th when Crazy Eyes steps in. Takes Tom Glavine to straightaway center and the Wranglers go up 8-4. Talk about a staple center. Mashed Taters goes yard in the bottom of the 12th. Snag Roper comes up with 2 on and 1 out. Kloss DeGain fans him. Then Slapper Glute with the double to right center gets Soul within 2. Brings up Robin Yount. DeGain gets him to fly out to right field. Maybe the most exciting Super Mega Baseball game I've ever watched. Texas pulling off the reverse sweep in dramatic fashion. Well, the win streak ends at 4 against Red Hot Boston, but their win streak ends at 6 as the Wranglers get 3 wins at Founders Field. Can Texas string together another 4-game win streak in the playoffs? Day baseball at the Corral. Just love the skyline here. Awesome place. 1 on, 1 out in the 3rd for Yovan Bambino. The 1-1 fastball from Angel Verde is sent out of here, just inside the foul pole. Next up, Babe Ruth. First pitch swinging, absolutely crushes it. Back-to-back jacks from the Bambinos. Still going in the 3rd, and it's Will Clark with a 2-run blast off Angel Verde. Then in the 4th, Ray's Rufo goes yard off Verde. Jock Sports leads off the 6th, takes Alana Lantana to straightaway center, gone. Jacques Often comes up with nobody on, 1 out in the 7th. Crushes this one off Frank Lizzie to right. Bishop Fuller looking for a complete game shutout. Can he get that final out against Hammer Longballo? On 1 pitch, Longballo plays spoiler. Way out of here. 452 feet, his 6th home run of the playoffs. The next batter, Gary Carter, grounds to second and that's gonna do it. The Wranglers storm the field. Babe Ruth and Jock Sports back-to-back titles with 2 different teams that they both played on. Bishop Fuller, the complete game 3 hitter. Babe Ruth, an unbelievable performance as both a pitcher and a hitter, leading the playoffs in both home runs and RBIs. What team will he play for next?